It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Well, it's been rough and rocky traveling, but I'm finally standing upright on the ground, and after taking several readings, I'm surprised to find my mind still fairly sound. I guess Nashville was the roughest, but I know we've said the same about them all, and we received our education in the cities of the nation, me and Paul. Those lyrics come from one of the great voices of country music. You might know him as the ambassador to Weedville, Shotgun Willie, Willie the Weed Man, or the Red-Headed Stranger, but most know him as Willie Nelson. And he's celebrating his 89th birthday today. While we know he can't wait to get on the road again, we hope he'll take a moment to celebrate as we wish him all the best at the start of this episode of Saturday Matinee. And lest you wonder why we're talking about a musician on a movie podcast, I'll direct you to his IMDb page where you'll see he has 73 acting credits and more on the way, notably Wag the Dog, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me, and the immortal Disney classic, The Country Bears. My handle's Kyle Olson. I'll be driving this tour bus through the winding lanes of this episode, but this isn't a solo show, no siree. This here's a trio. First, I'd like to call to the stage our podcast impresario, master of the wicks and sticks. I fed his name into a country music name generator, and it came out Cooter Buckley, but you know him as Pete Wright.
Oh my God, hang on. I've got to legally change my name to Cooter Buckley.
You haven't yet?
Get it while you can.
Amazing. CooterBuckley.com.
The queen of the tender ballad. She'll steal your heart and your pickup, and you'll still want her back. The name generator says she's Phoebe Lynn Dean, but you all know her as Mandy Kaplan.
I love Phoebe Lynn Dean.
It's yours.
I was going to come in singing To All the Girls I've Loved Before, and then you called me Queen of the Ballad. So we're right on brand.
What is yours, Kyle?
Oh, mine was pretty lame. Mine was Lee Dean.
Are we related?
So you're related somehow.
I guess so.
How adorable.
I don't know why.
We probably got married in the 90s and...
Yeah, I tried a couple times too, and it kept the same one. So whatever the algorithm was like, no, that is your country name, and it will change nothing.
Phoebe Lee Dean. All right.
All right.
Power. Cooter Buckley.
All right. So my first question then is, what y'all been watching?
What haven't I been watching? Oh,
ooh, okay.
Pete's having a moment. It could be agita or it could be an emotion, but I'm just going to move on.
I'm having a...
We'll start with you, Mandy. What are you watching?
I'm a little behind, but I watched a series that we're going to talk about on the Man Cave, The Girl Before, on HBO Max, which I very much liked. And now we're doing Yellow Jackets. So I know we're a little bit behind. Liking it, not loving it. Loving Christina Ricci. Man.
Who doesn't love Christina Ricci?
She is fantastic. And I'm fairly convinced that the young actress who plays her, Young, and Christina Ricci, locked themselves in a dorm room for a year before they started filming. Like, they have all their mannerisms together. It's such a nuanced performance that the young Ricci's giving. So that's a lot of fun. And
have you seen The Wilds?
No.
The Wilds I find it interesting because it was a show on Amazon Prime. Actually, the second season is coming out this summer. But it's almost the same premise as Yellow Jackets, and it came out beforehand, and it was fantastic. And it just came and went, and nobody really talked about it. And then Yellow Jackets came out, and everybody went, "Oh man, this is amazing!"
Wow.
And I was like, but The Wilds just did this. Did anybody see it?
Poor Wilds.
I highly recommend it. The main difference is that there isn't like two different actors playing. So it's like basically it's the same thing. It's a plane crash happens for a girl's. I can't remember, they're a rugby team or something, and they're trapped on an island and they have to survive over the course of the time. And then it's cutting back and forth between sort of now when they're off the island and talking about what happened.
Right.
And so you're continuing to see they'll talk to a girl and then all of a sudden she'll get up to leave and it turns out she now only has one leg and you go, oh, right. And so then how did she lose the leg and all that kind of stuff. And then there's also like a Lost-esque mystery going on about the island and what's really going on.
Gotcha. When you say,
so I have not watched Yellow Jackets yet, just because I was sort of like I'm sort of holding out for I'm a Wilds fan. I don't like Yellow Jackets because I'm a Wilds.
You're a purist.
Yeah, it's like you're a Mets fan.
You're first.
But when you start a sentence with a girls' blank team crashes on an island, I immediately go back to like Skinamax days, like those late night movies they would show about like girls, prisons, and so it makes me feel like, am I allowed to watch? But
you're implored to watch the show.
Yeah.
What you been watching?
Okay, I have two things I need to talk about.
Okay.
One, I went to see the Portland touring cast of Hamilton on 420 Blaze Up,
nice.
and it was extraordinary. But let me tell you why. Because the weekend prior, Saturday, Sunday, Monday shows were all canceled. You may be asking, Pete, why? COVID? I would say to you, no, influenza. No one had COVID, but the entire cast and swings and understudies all ended up getting sick for 3 straight days. So they, like a mad circus orchestrator, flew people in. Our Eliza came from Los Angeles, which just closed. They had, people are, and so you know how you go to the theater, to the theater, you're classy crew, and they say, tonight the part of, such and such will be played by such and such. They just said, tonight, just read the insert. And so you look at the insert, and every cast member all the way down. So it's like Hamilton and Burr and Angelica and George Washington and Eliza and Thomas Jefferson Lafayette and Hercules Mulligan to King George. King George was the only cast member in the tour. Everyone else was understudy. So I just dope praise for the understudy because that show was extraordinary and those people know their stuff. So it was just fantastic. Fantastic. Anybody in Portland listening? Good luck getting tickets. It's going to close in a couple of weeks, but you surely missed out. So second, the other thing that I am totally... Yes.
Might I interject?
Of course.
Did you see that Hugh Jackman video that floated around at the beginning when Broadway was starting to open? He's in Music Man on Broadway with Sutton Foster.
Yeah, right.
And he made that beautiful speech because Sutton Foster's swing, not even her understudy, her swing found out that day you're going on and she never rehearsed and she did it. And his speech, it makes me tear up to think about it, about how many people felt like he was speaking about them and to them and for them. I have understudied. I have swung, mostly never to set foot on stage, but to sit backstage in costume and, wait till I could drink heavily after. It's a demeaning role sometimes. So I think understudies are almost always better than the actual cast member.
Well, they're certainly not jaded.
Exactly.
That's right. They're young, scrappy, and hungry.
Yes.
Yeah, they are young, scrappy, and hungry. I'll tell you, you could feel it. Kyle, what were you going to say?
So, in going off of, and I could think now I have 3 things because you guys keep saying stuff. It makes me think of things more. If you watch Beetlejuice is back on Broadway. I'm so excited about that.
Fantastic.
And if you go and watch their opening speech, I think they had 9 cast members who were making their Broadway debut that night. Oh. And so in the thing, he singled out each one of them, brought them out, and said something really nice about them. Oh. So in costume, basically said, this is their name, this is the part they play, and here's something amazing about them, and then brought them out, gave them flowers, and gave them a moment center stage.
That's great.
That's beautiful.
Which I thought was fantastic too. I also saw Hamilton when it toured through in here, and I like going to the matinees, the Sunday matinees, because 1, cheaper, and 2, you get to see the understudies. And so when we had, it was the same kind of thing. They had swapped a bunch of the roles. And so the guy who played our Hamilton was also was a swing for not only Hamilton, but also Burr, which I thought, I was that's so interesting that he does both parts.
Talk about learning literally the whole show. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And it was interesting because he was either he was short or George Washington was really tall. Because when the confrontation happens of call me son one more time, it was a 6 foot to 5 foot difference. So Hamilton's looking up and pointing at his chest, call me son one more time. Yeah. And it had a different sort of feel to it. Aw.
So
we unfortunately did not get to see Waitress because we showed up with our tickets and they're sorry, COVID. Okay.
Bugger that.
Yeah. So it must have
it's miserable.
just happened because we never got an email or call or anything. We went to, showed up right at the door and there's a guy at the front going, nope, sorry, no show today, folks. But somehow they still was able to do the night show. So I don't know how that worked.
Well, they got back. I'm not dead yet.
I feel happy.
So that's the stage. Now to screen. I am compelled to talk about Severance.
Okay.
Are either of you watching Severance?
No.
No.
I know what it is, but I have not seen it.
Oh my God.
So talk about it without spoiling it for anything.
Well,
Sell
that's
it to
miserable.
us,
But
Pete.
let me just say this. Hold on, my dog needs to go out.
I like Waitress, but I don't think you missed out. It's not the best show.
I've seen a bootleg of it, and that was okay. And my wife really wanted to see it, so like it was her first time going to see anything since COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was our first her first time back in the
Right.
theater, like to performing arts, and like go to the door and go, oh. Wah, wah.
Okay, can I talk now?
Yeah.
That trombone. Yes, tell it. Hey,
All right.
Pete, tell us about Severance.
Look, Severance. It is a show on Apple TV Plus, and it stars Adam Scott and Zach Cherry and Britt Lower and Tremel Tillman and Patricia Arquette and John Turturro and Christopher Walken and others. Dyken Lockman is in it from Dollhouse. If you remember her, she's fantastic. It is. Okay. Created by Dan Erickson, directed by Ben Stiller and Ulf McCardle, and it is extraordinary television from people who love classic television. And I mean like classic Who Shot JR level of cliffhangers. Like they have crafted a show so endearingly for me that I've
so
never
nice
seen
of
anything
them.
like it. It's all I can think about, and the fact that it is directed and run by Stiller and Erickson, like there is nothing funny about it. It is a straight up crazy psychological thriller. The premise is, if you have not heard of it, the premise is it is radical work life separation. You have a chip drilled into your brain, and that chip, when you go onto a triggered technologically magical elevator, you go down to your floor and you forget who you are on the outside. That person is your outie, and they're a different person. They're the person that goes and eats dinner and sleeps at night and eats breakfast and takes showers. You're the innie. You work inside and you get to only experience the work stuff. So when the elevator closes at the end of the day, the next thing you know is the elevator's open and you're back at work. You never sleep. You never eat dinner or shower. And that is the premise. And from there, it goes into some bonkers directions that I can't talk about, but I love it so much. I created an item of merch on our merch store in our TeePublic store. My favorite line that nobody gets, much less remembers was even in the show, is now on an item of merch in our merch store. We sense what's eels. We sense what's eels. Thank you, Zach Cherry, for that incredible gift to my psyche. I will be wearing it proudly, and I have ordered shirts and stickers myself. So that is it. Severance, seriously.
A reason to
Everyone I know is loving it.
subscribe
It's not
to.
my thing, but
It
everyone
is
I know is loving it.
exceptional. Mandy, wait a minute. Back up. Just a little while ago, you asked for recommendations in this very oeuvre in Discord. You wrote and you said,
Yes.
hey, give me suggestions for this stuff.
No,
right?
not for that.
That was you.
Yes, but
That was you,
I
right?
needed a person
Yes, but
going
no.
to a small town and weird things start happening, or a person entering a place and like it's not supernatural. It's
This isn't supernatural. This is
science fiction.
This is a weird. This is a person
Science?
going into a weird place. And weird things start happening.
I understand. It is not my thing, and I had too much to watch. But we haven't heard what Kyle's watching. But if I could just segue, because I have too much to watch, and that's the article I posted.
Yeah.
It is.
And
Yeah.
I didn't realize one of the reasons we're having this glut of content. I thought it was, there was a pandemic and now they're able to produce and all these scripts are getting made. Yes, but they're all getting dropped right now for Emmy consideration, which I didn't even think about.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
May
that makes sense.
31st is the cutoff. So this week, there has been a return of Atlanta, Barry, Better Call Saul, The Flight Attendant, Girls 5 Eva, Hacks, Russian Doll, Stranger Things, and Tehran. And 60 new series that I won't name. So,
And Tehran drops Glenn Close. That's some power
Mhm.
Emmy machinery right there.
but we all say we are living in the golden age of television, and we truly are. And to finish your dinner and go, ooh, which of these amazing things am I going to watch tonight? Is a real gift, but it's also getting a little overwhelming. it's a little anxiety causing when it's like, we haven't finished Yellow Jackets, but the flight attendant dropped and I'm dying to watch. Well, but you know what's dropping tomorrow night is something else that my trailer, it's too much. And I feel like they should all meet and be kinder and gentler about releasing things and giving us a little time. I'm a busy lady and I have a hard bedtime at 8:15.
I mean, I think you're. I mean, obviously, it's golden age of streaming because we're seeing all this stuff. But at the same time, I kind of feel like we're coming to the end of the golden age of streaming because, like, the sort of the knock that Netflix took, I think, might be the beginning of a sea change. Like, we might be heading towards the things. I think that maybe people are realizing that the Netflix model of here's everything, here's 15 episodes, now you can have it, is maybe not the best way to do it. So maybe the way of doing that is sort of almost to go backwards in time to what networks did and just be like an episode a week.
Well, even with that,
Great.
though, it's
I can balance that.
Well, I'm having struggles. I am struggling to keep up. Even with the once a week Hulu releases, it's like there's just too much and it's all good. But what are you watching, Kyle? Enough about me and my troubles.
I mean, the sort of the usuals. I mean, Moon Knight and Picard and Halo and stuff too. But and the thing I saw that actually really took me by surprise this week was we're all parents, and so we know that one of the things you have to do as a parent to be a good parent is let your kids choose the thing you're going to watch, and you have to go along with a smile and a song and go, great, this is going to be amazing. So my 8-year-old got to pick the movie, and she picked The Bad Guys. That's a new animated movie from DreamWorks.
Not good.
And it's phenomenal.
Casey and I are going to see that.
I was there, like, for the first 5 minutes, I'm like, this movie is really good. And then by the time we get to the third act twist, I was like, this is fantastic. This is one of the best animated movies I've seen in a long, long time.
Wait, how did you watch it? I thought it hasn't come out yet.
In the theater.
Oh.
No, yeah, it came out in the theater. Okay. She'd been seeing the previews and talking about it, and I'm watching it going, because the trailers were not great. They're like, oh no, oh good, a DreamWorks thing, tons of pop songs, hooray! And
my kid,
a big dance.
My kid hears one of the characters. He's like, oh, that's Aquafina. And I love it. I'm like, yeah.
I know you tend to be not the biggest Aquafina fan, but she is really good in this one because she sort of doesn't play the Aquafina character. She's sort of is much more down.
Yes.
Or mellow and stuff too. And at the beginning, every voice actor is really good. I'm a fan of heist movies. This is a heist movie, and it's a good heist movie.
Okay.
I mean, I'd say the animation style is great. Actually the songs they choose were really
great.
good. I mean, I was really blown away because I went in with lower expectations, but it really blew the roof off the place.
I'm psyched now.
And and for Justin Hammer fans, the lead characters.
Me too. I had no idea. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in it. That's how little I've been paying attention to this thing.
That's right. I know it's one of those things where I was like, okay, another DreamWorks animated movie, but yeah, man, there's something is happening in animation right now where they're sort of going away from that, Disney house style where every character looks the same and allowing the animators to get so it really has a lot of anime influences where there's big gestures and they're really getting back to cartoon stuff and not trying to have it be everything looks like Shrek or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, that was the real treat of Turning Red, right? Is the manga influences that were extraordinary.
Right. And I would say that is part of it too. I think a new group of animators has sort of come into their own now, and they were influenced by a very different set of things.
Yeah.
And so you're starting to see that bleed into it.
Did you guys happen to watch the making of feature that was on Disney Plus for Turning Red?
I meant to. I don't think I actually did though.
Well, it's a team of all women. From effects, lighting, direction, the writing, everything, it's all women. And the behind the scenes was kind of extraordinary. I'm sitting there watching it with my wife, and about 15 minutes in, she looks at me and she says, do you notice what's different? And I said, no one's talking about themselves. Anytime they're talking about the movie, they're talking about one of the other women and how much they love them. And at no point were they talking about their skills, what they've learned along the way. It's always been like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm making a movie with this woman. I love her. I want to be roommates with her. She's brilliant. I'll follow her anywhere. And the other woman is sitting on the couch with her and is like, are you kidding? I would follow you anywhere. You're amazing. You're the most amazing. It was so freaking ego-free and joyous to watch the making of this movie that was already fantastic.
Yeah.
So it was such a treat.
Oh, good.
Such a treat.
I like that movie.
And I like
good.
that Disney is doing that, is actually putting out behind the scenes stuff too, because no one else really is.
Yeah. I love that they're all in one place. Really great.
On Winning Time, if you are watching it, I had been stopping at the credits, but it turns out you need to keep going, because now at the end of the credits, not only is there a preview for the next episode, but there also is like
featurette,
a video podcast thing at the end of it, talking to the actors and some of the actual people that are involved in it. It was like a little surprise when I forgot to pick up the remote. It was like, oh, hey, there's like a little featurette at the end of every episode. This is nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about the present. Let's talk about the future. Let's get into trailers. Mandy, you got in there first. It seems like there was a different name for the thing that you were going to talk about earlier on in the week.
So I had Chad season 2 in there because I'm a huge Chad fan. And then it just unceremoniously got pushed. They're not going to premiere it. So I changed course and I chose a series written and created by Vanessa Bayer and starring Vanessa Bayer, who I find to be delightfully quirky, very similar in everything she does, but I'm on board with it. And Molly Shannon and Jennifer Lewis, who can do no wrong. These 3 women are in a series called I Love That For You.
I'm Jackie. I know who you are. Hey, y'all. We're coming into people's living rooms. It's a relationship.
No more sandstone. Tell them we're out.
Gotcha. Sorry about that.
Don't talk to me.
I'm so sorry. I don't apologize. Sorry for saying sorry.
2 minutes to live. They're gonna be great.
Really?
I'm not sure.
Are you dying to smell it?
I sure am.
You're fired. What is the status on the basket?
Kim wants it for North America.
I have cancer!
Oh my God, what?
You know, I had it when I was a kid, and she back.
But you did have it. You had cancer.
But she's saying she has it now. She doesn't have it now.
Hey, Jesus, you're not gonna take this one yet.
I've really only been with 2 guys, and both of them weighed less than me.
Now, this combines a lot of what I love, like sending up the home shopping network. Love it. It's that Dear Evan Hansen model of telling a lie and then the lie spins out of control and everybody's lives are affected by the lie. And she's going to dig herself deeper and deeper as the season goes because she blurts out, I have cancer, because she doesn't want to get fired from her job. And I think it looks like it could be potentially hilarious and probably snipery with the emotions it's going to get from us. And I can't wait for this. So you're hearing this Saturday. So yesterday, the first episode was on Showtime.
That's right. You can watch it right now.
Yes, on Showtime. And that they are doing like streaming on Amazon, I think. But if you have Showtime, you get them faster, from what I've heard.
Sure. What do you think, Pete?
Okay, it is quirky and all of those things. I was completely distracted by the fact that Bess Armstrong is in it. And Bess Armstrong, I fell in love with when I was 11 years old, and I saw her in Jaws 3D. I was head over heels in love with Bess Armstrong for like a number of years. And then she went on to My So-Called Life, and she was in High Road to China. She was in Four Seasons before Jaws 3D. Didn't see her in that until many years later. I was delighted to see my true movie love, Bess Armstrong, in that movie. And now she is in this one, in I Love That For You, and I'm very excited about it. She's been in a lot of other stuff that I just haven't watched between Jaws 3D and
so
now.
You don't love her
but
that
it feels like
much.
I just rediscovered her. I know, right?
I'm looking her up on IMDb so I can get a real sense of your type.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably shouldn't. I mean, it's okay if you didn't, but I was just like, let's not go typing each other, shall we? Okay. So I think it looks really funny and quirky, and I do actually I really like Vanessa Bayer. I think she's so like, you're right. It's like she has a thing that she does, and that thing, if it weren't kind of universally funny, I would struggle with it, but it really is universally funny. So
Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to be the party pooper then, because I love Vesper. I think she's great on SNL. I think the Totino's trilogy is some of the best things that they were on SNL. But I don't know. I see this and I'm just like, oh, this is the nice girl and the mean office. Okay. I feel like I've seen this.
You're done with that?
A bunch of, yeah, I feel like it's been done every time. And I feel like it's kind of like almost the job these women have to do in order to get forward in Hollywood. Like, I feel like this is kind of like Shrill in the same way. I was like, oh, you're so much funnier than just being like I'm out of step with everybody else. I'm the quirky girl and they're all mean to me.
Well, I hate that for you,
Okay,
Kyle.
we're still doing this, huh? Yeah. It just seems like we're still doing this. We're still doing this. Okay. But at the same time, that cast, like the fact Molly Shannon, I love the fact that Molly Shannon's getting all this work. Jennifer Lewis. It raises the bell, but I'm sort of waiting to see what the reaction is first before I because I know it's just in a genre or style or whatever that I feel like is kind of played out.
I do have to say, I love that we're getting closer and closer, that I can look at this cast list and see Iden Maeri and see that she is in the upcoming Confess Fletch, the new Fletch reboot starring John
There's
Hamm.
another Fletch reboot
as
is
Fletch.
this one actually going to happen?
Yeah.
That's
It
one
is
of those
well cast. Like they dropped Kyle MacLachlan and John Hamm and Marcia Gay Harden and John Slattery. And it is thoroughly cast.
I feel like
this
Fletch
one.
is kind of like Akira, where like they just keep putting together casts and creatives, and then it all just falls apart. They do it again. And
Yeah.
it falls apart,
To your point, there is no projected release year on IMDb at this point, so we'll see. Believe it, pick movie or it didn't happen kind of a thing. So anyway, that's where we are.
All right, so let's move on to our next one, because Pete, you got in there next. So I think you picked a weird little independent film that nobody's really talking about yet.
Yep. Not only is nobody really talking about it, I've already picked trailer 1 of this movie. That's how excited I am. It's Jurassic World Dominion.
Blue had a baby. That's impossible.
Hey, girl.
You look just like your mother.
I promise you, I am gonna get her back.
Here's why I got excited about this. Here's why I got excited. Because this one has a dinosaur pick up a guy off a moving motorcycle. And if they're going to drop the pick up a guy off a moving motorcycle in the trailer, what wonders of killing will we have at the fangs and like claws of dinosaurs in this thing? I love the whole premise of this movie, that they're just saying, you know what, dinosaurs are just everywhere, and we're going to see what happens. Like, this is, my headcanon for this movie is like, okay, everybody, all of you people, new people, old people, just start running through Italy and know that there will be dinosaurs. And that's enough for me. That's enough. I am so excited about this movie. I don't even know what else to say. It's coming out way too soon for me to even stay on this podcast. Are you guys as excited as I am about dinosaurs run amok?
What do you think, Mandy?
Pete, raise your standards, man. I mean, this was trope after trope after trope.
Yes.
And I'm here for it. I felt almost like they were making fun of it. Like, having recently suffered through a movie called The Bubble. Don't ever watch it.
Ooh, that's on my list.
Kyle, you're welcome. I'm saving you and your precious time on Earth.
It's not great. It's not
really
great.
bad. And they do a version of Jurassic. They're sending up Jurassic Park. This felt like that. Like, they're like, well, are you in? Well, come on then. What are you waiting for? Like, the dialogue is so cheesy. Everything is so cheesy. And you call out one of the cheesiest things about, like, it's going to swoop him off a motorcycle. Like,
Yeah. There's a plane attacked by a dinosaur.
Yeah.
How can you not get excited about it? It's a work of art. There is a place where Chris, what's his name? Chris Pratt really leans in on the fact that he told a dinosaur he was going to return its baby.
You made a promise to a dinosaur.
Yeah. So I am here for it.
I
Kyle,
will.
anything?
Wait,
do you support me?
Before Kyle speaks, I also have never seen one moment of a Jurassic Park movie, and I will remain that way till I die. So this is not meant for me. But if an action movie is like cool and shows me stuff I've never seen before, I could go see an action movie. But this showed me everything I've ever seen, and I've seen like 6 action movies in my life. So there you go.
But you haven't seen a Jurassic Park action movie. Therefore, you haven't seen real hot dinosaur action.
And I never will.
Hot dinosaur on dinosaur action.
Exactly. And now we're back to my Skinamax days.
That's right. That's right.
Well, there is
Kyle, you're excited about this.
There is a segment of fiction that yes, I am excited. I think the first trailer I thought was better because it hit that requel button. That it was like, ooh, because I have a big emotional connection to the first Jurassic Park. Like I saw the first Jurassic Park 5 times in the theater the summer it was out.
Me too.
It was a big thing for me. And then it's been diminishing returns ever since, as far as I'm concerned. But I have diligently seen every single one of them and have multiple times. They've almost crossed the point now with this one. They've sort of crossed into the Fast and Furious side of it, but I'm fine with that. Like I don't expect to have an emotional reaction like I did in the first Jurassic Park, but I'm okay with it because I just like seeing expensive special effects and then action sequences. Yeah, great, sold.
Yes,
I'm there for it. Like I said, I'm not going in thinking this is going to be any
high
type
art.
of exactly. even pop art in terms of like I have cried at Marvel movies, but I'm not going to have any type of emotion. If Chris Pratt's character dies, I'm not going to be like, oh, that's too like,
no, I still part of me. I know this is the third movie that he's been in.
Owen. Oh, not Owen.
Oh, yeah, right. I'm surprised you even pulled that. This is the third movie he's been in, and I'm still not convinced he's actually in them. Like, I can pretty easily Mandela myself into thinking it's someone else. But I'm
honestly,
why
I'm
you
not
see this
going
movie?
to that movie to see Chris Pratt
No.
or to see Bryce Dallas Howard. I'm going to see the originals.
Yes, I am. I'm going to see Goldblum.
Dr. Sadler.
Yeah.
Dr. Malcolm.
That's it. It's coming out June. In the U.S., June 10th, it is coming out. It is coming out in...
Tickets are available now if you want to get
Tickets are available now. New Zealand, Australia, June 9th. It's pretty much, that's the big weekend. June 8th, 9th, except for Japan. Sorry, Japan, July 29th.
Ooh, sorry, Japan.
Avoid the spoilers. All right, Kyle, your turn.
Yeah, so as we're talking about tonal whiplash, we're going straight from dinosaurs to... what could have been a stage play, I think, because I have a quiet, independent little film. Looks like maybe only has 2 actors in it, called Good Luck to You, Leo Grand.
Is one of the actors Bess Armstrong?
So I've made a list of things that I'd like to get through.
Oh, I think we'll certainly make a significant dent in it.
Good. That's good. Good.
You want to start with the blowjob?
For 31 years, my husband would climb on top, do the business, roll off, put his pajamas on and go back to sleep. I've never had an orgasm. And yes, in fact, if we do this, he will only be the second man I have ever had sex with. Oh, God.
Now, Nancy.
This is crazy.
Nancy.
It's terrible. It's wrong.
Nancy?
Yes?
Let's go to bed.
Okay. What's the oldest person you've ever done it with?
82.
82?
Yeah.
82?
Nancy.
Okay, I'm feeling a bit better now.
I watched a ton of trailers because summer is starting. A ton of trailers are coming out. So I watched the Jurassic Park one, all these things, and I sort of like, I don't know, I guess I was just kind of numb. I mean, all these things are coming out that I'm legitimately excited about and I'm going to see, but I just watched the trailer and go, yeah, okay. This was the only trailer I watched that I kind of had like this is something I haven't seen before. And so it's a really simple story of basically a woman of a certain age who, after having a series of bad things happen in her life, decides she's going to treat herself to one night of libidinous enjoyment.
I think it's a month. I hate to correct you. I think she says like this month. Like she hires him for a month.
I was unclear because I've read 2 synopses and one said a night and one said.
But you were using the word libidinous. Mad props.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Trying to keep our PG rating. And so she hires a man to do all these things, and she has a list And she's going on the list. So, and it's obviously it's Emma Thompson is what makes this, all of a sudden shoot to the top of the list of like, oh, anything Emma Thompson does already is going to be of high quality. But I've never seen this story before. Like, it's like there's novels and stuff too, but like they don't make movies like this. And it really could be a stage play because it looks like it's going to take place almost entirely in the hotel room where they're having these conversations. So they're going to have these very frank, open conversations, and then they're going to do some adult things together. And I find it really interesting because I was even talking to the other Mandy of the Man Cave about this and how few roles there are for women over 50. I mean, 50 is maybe being generous, but they don't make movies like for them anymore. And we were talking about how there's this vast sea of talent with nothing to do. And so it's great to see something like this. I hope it becomes, an indie darling that they'll start to go, oh, wait, we can make movies about people who aren't 24 and hot? Okay, great. So what do you guys think?
Well, might I start? Because
Please.
I saw Tonal Whiplash open for the Spin Doctors on the road.
Okay.
And it was a fantastic
you still have
lineup.
A t-shirt.
Tonal Whiplash. Great phrase.
Nice.
Yeah. I love Emma Thompson. Like, I mean, I want to move in with her and spend my days just being near her. She looks so radiant and so, yes, sexual, but also real and insecure about her sexuality and discovering it. And I want to see this okay. And yet somehow it doesn't feel like a movie. It just, I can't see like where it's going. If there was some hint of, does she fall in love with him, or does it get messy when they end this, or like where is it going other than this woman pouring her heart out, and they obviously form a nice bond and he's adorable, but I don't see a story. I see more of like a premise. So I will let others see it, and if it is an indie darling, I will watch it. I'll be late to the game.
I don't know. I think I agree with you, Mandy. I'm not sure I see the arc of the story from this trailer, but I am on the other side of the fence. I'm absolutely going to see this movie. I think it looks delightful, and I would be in it as a stage play too. There are lots of those sorts of films that I think make for great couple hours of storytelling. I also really love Daryl McCormack. I think he looks great in this movie. Saw him in a couple of episodes of what was the Time thing that's on Amazon, Wheel of Time, which was fun to see him. He has been around. I haven't seen him in a whole lot, but it was neat to see him in this. Obviously, Emma Thompson. Katie Brand is someone I don't know well. I haven't seen much of her stuff, though we did watch Nanny McPhee Returns, and she was in that. Although, apropos of this show, her start was 2006. She played various characters in a series called Titty Bang Bang, which seems like a spiritual predecessor to this film. I'm so glad that this exists. We talk all the time about movies for grown-ups. Like, what is it that we need to see? In action movies, we need to see The Northman. We need to see The Duel. We need to see that. In dramas, we need these movies to keep being made, I think. And I feel like it's more important now than ever to actually spend a few bucks and see it where it counts. So, yeah. I'm in favor.
And now I feel bad.
All right.
Well played. All right. I don't care about
Chuck Tingle
movies or women of a certain age. Well done.
Apparently you don't. It's okay. Not everybody can have a passion for the arts.
I mean,
it's tough for women in comedy.
It's what connects to you, and that's fine. But like, I think Nora, what you're saying was not we shouldn't make these movies, but like this trailer was not constructed well in order to.
I was saying she's old and she shouldn't be starring in movies at this age.
Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Where's the younger woman?
So there's our second pull quote of the episode.
Right. If Elle Fanning were playing it, I would go see it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we're all finding out a lot about what people you're physically attracted to in this episode. So this is very interesting.
Oh, I love Emma Thompson.
Now that we're done with that, let's move on to games. Yay! I have put together a small game for you. So we will be using the box of silence. So we will be taking turns. So one of you will be taking off your headphones as we go through. So this game is called Crisscross Applesauce, but I'm not going to tell you why just yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to, don't leave yet, Pete.
I have to stand up for a game like this.
He's
I have to reset.
throwing a fit. Should I stand up? Is this happening?
How dare you? Like, are we
Wait, it's going to get noisy when I stand up.
Okay.
All right. Oh, I stood up too far.
We can't see the beautiful hair.
I know, right? No. This is terrible. Okay. All right. Yeah. Bring it,
It's
Pete.
not that physical of a game, I swear.
Bring it. I'm not afraid.
So the premise of the game is for each of you, you're going to take one of you is going to take your headphones off, and I'm going to give you the opening line of a movie, and you're going to try and tell me what that movie is. Now, I've specifically catered the lists to be much more towards what you're interested in. So I'm not trying to do things, but there's a couple of them I put in there as, just for a little bit of a challenge. And then some I put in that are just, I think famous enough that you'll get through. So we'll do one round of this. And then when we come back, then we'll do a second round, which the rules will slightly change.
Okay.
So
let's see. Does this mean that we're getting the same movies? That's why Cone of Silence?
No one has said that yet. But there's a reason, and you'll find out in the second round.
Oh, okay.
So,
let Mandy go
first. Mandy, you were first.
Yeah.
And you're getting your trailer in, so you're going to go first here too. So, Pete, please take off your headphones and enter the Cone of Silence.
Suck it, Pete. I'm going to be terrible at this, but I want Pete to he can't hear me. I'm going to look like I'm getting them all right. But I'm going to be terrible.
So, that's right. Whatever you do, positive body language. Okay, so we have 10. So we go there. So I'm not timing you just because I don't like timed things. But you can ask me the type of movie it is, because some of them will be tougher, and I don't want to make it impossible for you, because I tested some of these on my wife and she did not do well. So I want to try and make it so that I'm being fair.
Thank you, sir.
Too. So, okay. So here we go. Right. As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Bugsy.
I was 12, going on 13, the first time I saw a dead human being.
Stand By Me.
Nice. They say most of your brain shuts down in cryosleep. All but the primitive side, the animal side. No wonder I'm still awake.
Don't know. Can I get a hint? Genre.
It is a science fiction film.
Moving on. Don't know it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm going to make Pete think I got it. Yes.
The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air.
Moving on. I don't know it. But I'm showing him I got it.
I'm 36 years old. I love my family. I love baseball, and I'm about to become a farmer.
Oh, I do know this. Field of Dreams.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Kind of lonesome back here. Little help?
Oh.
This is a tougher one, so I can tell you it is a comic book movie.
Oh.
Furthermore, I could say it's a rated R comic book movie.
Rated R comic book movie. Deadpool.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know there are more people with genius IQs living in China than there are people of any kind living in the United States?
Genre, please.
It is a Oscar award winning drama.
Empire of the Sun.
You. Okay.
That was probably not China.
Choose life. Choose a job. Choose a career.
Moving on.
Okay. In Jailhouse Rock, Elvis was everything rockabilly is about. Living fast, dying young, and leaving a good-looking corpse.
Crybaby. I don't know.
Oh, that's actually not far off. All right. And last one. When I was lying there in the VA hospital with a big hole blown through the middle of my life, I started having these dreams of flying.
Yeah, I would not know that. That sounds sad.
Okay. All right, so you're done. So
yes. Oh, yes. So I did really well. Okay.
Welcome back.
I had to just turn off everything because I started watching Mandy have a seizure, I think, at one point.
She when she gets right, she's very excited about it. So.
Oh, she's off. She's out. She's in the Cone of Silence now.
She's in the Cone of Silence now, too.
This
so
is
she went right away. I
extraordinary.
didn't even have to ask her. So
All
she
right.
didn't have to gloat about it. Okay, so I'm going to then give you your set of questions. So, all right, are you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be, Kyle.
Okay, here we go. It was the summer of 1963 when everybody called me baby, and it didn't occur to me to mind. Oh, I'm sorry. You can ask what the type of film it is, just as a.
I can only think of Maybe 2 movies that have baby in them, and the other one is not Dirty Dancing.
Okay. So you're going with Dirty Dancing?
Yes.
That is correct. Okay. Will you just watch the hair? You know, I work on my hair a long time, and you hit it. He hits my hair.
Hairspray?
No.
I don't know.
When I think of my wife, I always think of her head. I picture cracking her lovely skull, unspooling her brains, trying to get answers.
Gone Girl.
Correct.
Stop.
I'm going back to Australia. I might never see you again.
Oh. I don't know.
Okay. No matter what they say, it's all about money.
Moneyball. I can't remember that.
Okay.
No, it's not Moneyball. I know Moneyball.
Whenever I get gloomy with the state of the world, I think about the arrivals gate at Heathrow Airport.
Fish called Wanda.
All right.
I have no idea. That was terrible.
One?
Oh, there are more?
All right. Let's do this one last time.
Ocean's 13. This is terrible.
Okay. Of course, I've seen her films and always thought she was, well, fabulous, but, you know, million miles from the world I live in.
Is she saying I should know these?
Mm-hmm.
Are you're not writing them? Or is this a pitch meeting?
These are not originals that I came up with.
Okay. All right. Give me the genre of this one. What kind of them?
This is a romantic comedy.
I've already forgotten the line. Do it one more time.
Of course, I've seen her films and always thought she was, well, fabulous, but, you know, million miles from the world I live in.
The first line you're saying.
It is. This is the first line.
And I've seen it, you think?
Spoken by the lead character. And you have seen it.
Full Metal Jacket.
Wow. Okay. All right, next. It all began on New Year's Day in my 32nd year of being single. Once again, I found myself on my own and going to my mother's annual turkey curry buffet.
Is this a Neil Simon thing?
It is not. It is much more contemporary than that.
Oh, man. I thought it was like Biloxi.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, I don't know it.
Okay. All right, and the last one. This is the story of how I died. Don't worry, this is actually a very fun story, and the truth is, it isn't even mine.
That seems iconic.
It does.
This is the story of how I died. Is it genre?
Yes.
Comedy?
I can tell you it is an animated film.
Oh, was it Miyazaki? No.
Well,
is it?
I need a director. I need a movie.
But what if I want you to tell me? Tell me what it is. Okay. It is animated.
Yes.
It is. It sounds so familiar. Is there a genre within animated that you can narrow it down?
I can tell you it is a Disney animated. But that's 3/4 of the animated movies out there.
But it's not. Okay, one more question. Well, give me an era. Is there an era? Can you give me the year? Can you give me who was in it?
I would say after the year 2000.
After 2000?
Yes.
Oh, man.
So it just gives you the last, 22 years.
This is the story. Can you do it in character?
I thought I was.
Again.
So I can tell you it is said by a male character, I'll tell you that. But that's it, Dan. Like we're already into overtime on this one question.
I will go with Andy's favorite weird selection whenever I say, give me a Disney movie that you love, and he doesn't say anything but Tangled.
It is Tangled!
No,
yes, it is!
You know what? I don't even need to play anymore.
Don't say what it is, though, because...
I don't like how that ended.
Yeah.
Pete got real happy.
I got one right, and it was a Hail Mary.
It was quite the clutch.
Oh.
It was quite the
All
clutch.
right.
Okay, so... Oh, you know what? As I look over the list, I realized... I gave you guys the wrong lists. Mandy was doing Pete's list and Pete was doing... No, it's almost like that was the plan all along.
Oh, wait, I got a couple of them.
The double cross.
Oh.
Because that was a non-scoring round. Because the way you get points in this game is... Will you be able to tell if the other person got it right or not? So Mandy, you're going to go, did Pete get it right?
Okay.
And Pete, you're going to, did Mandy get it right?
Oh,
so
wow.
You get essentially each one.
I need an example.
Chris double cross applesauce.
That's right, double cross applesauce.
Chris
That's
double
even
cross
better. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for the note.
I'm suddenly my anxiety is peaking right now. I feel a little bit out of the loop with what's going on.
That was a non-scoring round. That was just to get the base. So you have two. Essentially, you guys you're going to listen to each other now. You don't no more tone of silence, so you can hear this part. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go Mandy first. I'm going to go down the list, and if she knows the name of the movie, great. She gets a bonus point for that. But if the question is, did you know what it was going to be?
Okay.
So Mandy, this is the list that I read to Pete.
But they are movies geared towards me.
Yes. It is really hard to do this because there are so many movies that just give away everything in the opening line. Like I'm like, oh, you talk about Vacation every time you're on. The first line of Vacation is, "This is Rusty Griswold from the I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, I'm a very simple girl.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm saying
those are the movies I like.
I mean, like, I didn't use Miscongeniality because the first line is, "What's the problem here, guys?" It was like,
right.
No, that's not really that, you know.
That's how I logged into the podcast. Okay, here we go.
All right. So this is the first one is, "It was the summer of 1963 when everybody called me baby, and it didn't occur to me to mind." What is it?
Dirty Dancing, and Pete knew it.
Correct and correct. All right. Second line. "Will you just watch the hair? You know, I work on my hair a long time and you hit it. He hits my hair."
I don't know, and Pete did not know.
I said Hairspray. It's not.
It's not Hairspray. It is Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it.
I actually should have known that.
But you were correct.
All right.
You were correct in that he did not know it.
Man.
All right. "When I think of my wife, I always think of her head. I picture cracking her lovely skull, unspooling her brains, trying to get answers."
Huh.
Oh, really? Oh, maybe I misjudged. I thought you'd have this one.
No, I don't know it, and Pete didn't know it.
Oh, that's 0 on that one. Pete did know it because it's
not
Gone
only
Girl.
Did Pete know it, he got it before Kyle even finished the sentence.
That's
Gone
true.
Girl. All right. I should have known that.
Have you seen Gone Girl?
Yeah. Read it, saw it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you that was one. Okay. Yeah. All right. "I'm going back to Australia. I might never see you again."
Oh, Grease.
Did Pete know it?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Grease 2, though, right?
No.
It was Grease.
Grease.
It was
Grease. So no,
because
Grease.
it was regular Grease.
So no, Pete didn't know it.
Grease 2 is your favorite thing.
Grease 2 is my favorite, but
You're giving away.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're giving away you didn't know.
Go to silence.
This one, this one's a little tougher than I thought it was going to be, but we'll see. "No matter what they say, it's all about money."
Wall Street.
And did Pete get it right?
No.
Okay, it's 0. He did not get it right, so you get 1 point for that, but it is Pretty Woman.
Oh.
All right.
I stand ashamed.
It's a weird line for Pretty Woman, but when you think about it, you go, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and once again, you can ask me what type of film it
Well,
is.
now that I know they're geared towards me, I don't need to.
Okay. We'll see.
You know me fairly well.
All right, number 6. "Whenever I get gloomy with the state of the world, I think about the arrivals gate at Heathrow Airport."
Love Actually. And
Did he know it?
Pete did not know that.
Correct. He did not know it.
Heartless bastard.
No. All right. Number 7. "All right, let's do this one last time." And I can tell you that line is said multiple times.
Yeah.
In the movie.
You did it like in character.
I did.
You did. All right, let's do this one last time. I don't know it, and Pete did not know it.
Pete did not know it, and you don't know it?
Mm-mm.
It is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, I would never know the first line. I mean, I like that movie.
Doubly
doubly
ashamed.
Yeah. Okay, but you get a point for that, though. Okay, number 8. Of course, I've seen her films and always thought she was, well, fabulous, but, you know, million miles from the world I live in.
Huh. That's interesting. I don't want to take too long thinking. I've seen her films, and I thought, well, a million miles from the world I live in.
Mm-hmm. It is a rom-com.
Pete did not know it.
Pete did not know it. She says.
America's Sweetheart.
No, that would have been really good. No, it is Notting Hill.
Notting Hill. Right actress.
But you still get a point.
Right actress.
Have known that.
Did not know it.
Yeah.
All right. Number 9. It began on New Year's Day in my 32nd year of being single. Once again, I found myself on my own and going to my mother's annual turkey curry buffet.
Bridget Jones' Diary, and Pete did not know that.
Correct! 2 points. You did not know that.
I can't remember. What did I say? Patton or something like that?
I think so. It was some kind of war.
Deeply,
Full Metal
deeply
Jacket.
misguided.
Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket. That's right.
All right. Okay. Then last one. This is the story of how I died. Don't worry. This is actually a very fun story, and the truth is, it isn't even mine.
I should so know this.
Pete got a lot of hints on this one. So
okay, yeah, I'll take a hint.
All right. So it is an animated film. And the line is not being spoken by the lead character.
This is the story of how I died. And heads up.
Don't worry. This is actually a very fun story. And the truth is, it isn't even mine.
Mitchell's versus the Machines.
And did Pete get it right?
He did not. But I don't think I'm right either.
You are incorrect and on both counts because in the last minute, after asking you a bunch of questions, he Hail Married Tangled.
Oh, I would never get that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's just be clear. I didn't get it. I guessed it because Andy says Tangled all the time whenever we talk about new movies that are really obscure. He loves that movie, and I just got lucky.
All right.
Okay. All right. So I will tally afterwards because, math is my favorite part of this game. All right. So now we're going over to you, Pete. So these are the ones I asked Mandy. Did she get them or not?
Very nervous about that. Aggressively nervous.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Goodfellas.
Did she get it right?
She was very excited at this point in her round. And I'm going to say no.
Correct. She did not get it right.
Wow.
2 points.
But what did she say?
I don't remember. How to
Tangled.
go back and listen to the tape.
All right.
Let's just say Tangled. Yeah, Tangled. Right. That was her go-to. She just said Tangled for all of them, which is ironic.
Okay. All right.
Number 2. I was 12 going on 13 the first time I saw a dead human being.
Stand By Me. And I bet she got it.
She did get
Pete,
it.
I'm so weirdly touched that you had that faith in me. Like, that just made, I was like, Pete knows I would get that.
That's like a straight up no brainer.
Oh, well, look, don't say that after I said, oh.
Hey. Yeah. They say most of your brain shuts down in cryosleep. All but the primitive side, the animal side. No wonder I'm still awake. It is a science fiction film.
Yeah, of course it's a science fiction film. Cryosleep. It's not an alien thing. I feel like I know how those start. Wow. Why can't this is very, very familiar to me. I don't know it, and I don't think Mandy knew it.
Okay, so you're saying she didn't know it, and you do not know it?
And I don't know it, yeah.
Okay, so you are correct, she did not know it. Would it help if I dropped my voice about like 30 decibels and went, they say most of your brain shuts down in cryosleep?
It doesn't help because I'm already hearing that. Like, I hear the line, I just can't place the movie.
Because it's all about family. This is Pitch Black. That was Vin Diesel.
Crying out loud.
I'm not kidding, Kyle. When you dropped your voice down, I was going to say it's Vin Diesel, but then I didn't want to insult you.
Like,
I was
right.
like, if it's not, he'll feel bad. And
I didn't do it. I was trying not to do it in any type of thing. All right.
Here's the thing. This will come. We're going to finish this conversation. I can't tell you now during the list because I have to come back to it. All right.
Number 4. The world has changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air.
Well, is this what this is? Is this does he sound like, is it a woman? Is this a woman?
It is.
Saying this? Is this, what's her name? Kate Blanchett?
From what film?
Which one is it? Fellowship of the Ring.
Correct. Did Mandy know that?
Oh, God, that was lucky. I could have chosen any of them. I have no idea. I'm going to say Mandy didn't know it.
You are correct on both things.
Oh, man.
Okay. All right. Next one. I'm 36 years old. I love my family. I love baseball, and I'm about to become a farmer.
That Field of Dreams?
It is. Did Mandy know that?
Yeah.
She did. All right. Number 6. This was a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of lonesome back here. Little help?
Do you have an accent to drop on me for this?
No, actually, that was pretty much almost an impression, just because it happens that our voices are very similar.
Kind of lonesome back here. A little help. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Are you going to ask me anything?
Okay. What genre is this?
It is a superhero film. It is a rated R superhero film.
Is it a Marvel adjacent superhero film?
I've given you all the help I'm going to give.
Is it Deadpool?
It is Deadpool. Did Mandy know it was Deadpool?
Yes, but I don't think she really knew it.
She did, and she got it right.
She did not know it.
Really?
No, he said rated R Marvel, and I was like, Deadpool? Yeah.
Okay, good.
Number 7. Did you know there are more people with genius IQs living in China than there are any kind living in the United States?
Social Network.
Correct. Did Mandy know that?
One of my very, very favorites. No.
Correct.
Oh, that was so lucky. I the moment I said it, I was like, okay, she knew
that
it.
movie.
She knew it. That smug look on her face right now, she knew it.
All right, number 8. Choose life. Choose a job. Choose a career.
All right, I'm gonna say right now she didn't know this.
Okay.
But Ewan McGregor does, because it's Train Spotting.
It is, and you are correct on both counts.
I just watched this not very long ago.
Okay. In Jailhouse Rock, Elvis was everything rockabilly's about. Living fast, dying young, and leaving a good-looking corpse.
Oh, my goodness. Can you give me an era?
Let's see. I believe it is late 90s.
Wow. It sounds very, very familiar, and I can't place it. And I'm going to say Mandy doesn't know it either.
Okay, so you're saying she didn't know it and you don't know it.
And I don't know it.
Okay, so you get +1 because she did not know that it was the beginning of True Romance.
That thought occurred to me, but I didn't say it.
Yeah. It sounds like hand to glove right there.
If they start talking about pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That was it.
I guess I could have done that or I could have done, let me tell you what Like a Virgin's about. All right, last one. When I was lying there in the VA hospital with a big hole blown through the middle of my life, I started having these dreams of flying.
These dreams go on when I close my eyes. I'm helping. I'm helping.
VA hospital. I can't believe I can't place it exactly because I can only think of one movie.
Line, but this is a very well-known movie.
And it's the first
line, first spoken. I guess that my thing was the first spoken line. So if it was a musical, I wouldn't do like whatever the song that was playing. This is the first spoken line of dialogue in all of these movies.
In the VA hospital as a musical is what you're telling me. It's not really a musical. You're just trolling.
No, right. It's not a musical. But I'm saying like
the only thing I could think of is Jacob's Ladder right now. But that's I don't know. It just got in my head. I'm almost sure that's not it. I would be damned lucky if that was it. And I'm going to say that Mandy did not know it.
You are correct. Mandy did not know it. So you get 1 point for that. And it's second highest grossing film of all time, Avatar.
Yeah, it is.
Because, what we remember about Avatar
Daniels
is the dialogue.
So that's right.
Anyway, so
it's a real character piece.
I can see there are more 2s on one side than the other. So Pete is our winner in this case. Was that fun or was that stress-inducing and humiliating?
Fun.
I didn't know how it was
all the way.
Okay.
I don't know why he gets stressed.
I could choose all 3, right?
Sure, why not?
This is a real red letter day. I'm notoriously bad at these trivia games, and so I feel just deeply honored that I even placed in a match with just 2 people. So
that was
thank you.
Double Cross Applesauce.
I love it. That's a great name.
Named by Mandy.
Perfect. TM. Yep. Outstanding.
So if you like games like this and you'd like to become a member, you can do so over at thenextreel.com/membership. Most will cost you $5 a month. If you're a member, you get access to live streams as we record, early access to shows in your very own personal podcast feed, access to the super secret member channels in Discord, member bonus episodes, and even stickers. Perhaps even longer versions of episodes like the one you're listening to now. If you're wondering what movies the Next Reel is going to be talking about in the next coming weeks, you can find our HQ page on Letterboxd, and you'll find a list of all the movies from our 2022 season. While you're there, Letterboxd is offering a discount to anyone listening to the Next Reel. Just use the code NEXTREEL. It is written in all caps on the thing at checkout, and you can upgrade your Letterboxd account to Pro or Patron with a 20% off discount. It also works for renewals because we love you. So now it's time for the Rob Cabasco Memorial List Challenge. We were challenged by last week's hosts, including one of the returning hosts, for craziest, most over-the-top kills by method.
I don't understand that part.
Specific.
Well, the guys worried that it's not worth going into. They worried that you would think it was
They've heard the episode.
like, wow, they killed off that character? We didn't expect that. They were worried. So it was like we wanted it to be
That's what I did
killed.
on my list. No,
Yeah.
The actual style,
Yeah.
implement, etc. of
Yes.
the kill.
Yes.
So,
All right.
Mandy, how traumatized are you by watching these clips on YouTube? When you did your research, you wanted to watch someone get like impaled.
No, I didn't watch any because the ones I chose, I saw and they burned into my brain, and I had them to call up. And the first one,
Okay.
I think it's a steal. Johnny Depp in Nightmare on Elm Street getting pulled into the bed, and then the fountain of
the
blood.
geyser of
Yeah,
blood.
right.
Yeah. Not a steal for me.
Not a steal for me. Definitely high up there,
Iconic
but,
though, right? I
they're-
mean,
iconic,
yeah.
Oh, very
truly
much so.
iconic. Yeah, for sure.
And a great way to start the list.
Hey, thanks.
It is a great way to
Hey,
start
thanks,
the list.
guys.
I have actually.
I believe I'm next in the thing.
Are you?
Are you? No, you had right. You had the dinosaurs. Sorry.
Slow your roll,
I had my
Olson.
dinosaur.
Yeah, that's right. I know. I'm just gonna sit back here quietly and think about death.
You think about what you did.
Chrissy recently on a SatMat brought up the Deep Blue Sea movies, and
Yes.
I own all three of them, which is not great. Not great, but I also
And yet here you are
love
bragging
sharks.
about
I love sharks and shark death, and there are a number of fantastic shark deaths in those movies. The one that I think people haven't seen, likely because it came out fairly recently, is actually Deep Blue Sea 3. Have either of you seen Deep Blue Sea 3?
Never heard of
exists. I
DS
have not
1
seen it.
or 2 or 3. So
Oh, you have not seen Deep Blue
No.
Sea?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
there's some good
shark is
sharks, but the
swimming
sharks are
backwards.
so smart because they're intellectually augmented in order to be able to take fluid out of their brains to help Alzheimer's patients. So it's a do-gooder movie. But the third one is an environmental movie because it exists because climate change is happening, and that's the whole premise. Is they're climate change crusaders, and there is an evil military ne'er-do-well who at one point is in a battle of fisticuffs with one of our protagonists, and the protagonist rolls him over with his head in the air, and shark protagonist, the hero of the film, if you ask me, leaps out of the water like a dolphin and effortlessly lifts the bad guy's head and severs it in his mouth and takes it with him into the water and leaves such a clean corpse writhing in our hero soldier's arms with no head, and the shark goes off in his merry way to live again to attack just moments later. But I love the precision of the fantasy that sharks kill like this, and it has absolutely stuck with me. It's elegant, it is precise, it is Deep Blue Sea 3.
Okay. All right. Very nice. All right. For my list, I ended up doing this essential list a couple weeks back, even though it wasn't part of the topic. So I kind of didn't want to steal from myself. So for my thing, I decided to do a theme. And so my theme is mass death. So my thing is like, one person is shocking, but I decided, what if I find the most shocking deaths of multiple people at the same time? And so my first one is actually from a very recent film from James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Opening sequence, total party kill.
Ooh.
We get to see all these heroes we've been seeing on advertisings and mugs and shirts suddenly entirely wiped out in the first 15 minutes of the movie. And you go, wait, what's happening now? Yeah.
all right.
That's a great one.
Awesome.
All right, Mandy.
Oh, it is clear I will not have seen anything that you guys offer up. Okay. Not surprising. I know my role. Okay. Yes. Okay. So this one I've seen a few times. The movie itself, not so violent, not so shocking. This moment when I was a kid left me haunted forever. I think it's the second Indiana Jones film where he reaches in and grabs the heart out. It's like a still beating heart, and the guy actually looks down and is like, uh-oh, and then he dies. Whew. Is that Temple of Doom?
Om Nom Shivai, Om Nom Shivai, Om Nom Shivai.
Right. Okay. That was, whew.
Outstanding.
Did not care
pick.
for that.
That is an outstanding pick. It's one of those I can't believe isn't a steal, but it is not.
Oh, all right.
Oh,
All right.
Fantastic. All right.
Hey, what's next, Pete?
So I have a couple of movies with some real cinematic credibility, and so I'm gonna save that and see if I can get it in my first pick, in my number one place. So instead, I'm going to choose another number 3.
Okay.
And that would be another series of movies that has really capitalized on the antagonist of death as an active participant in the narrative. I'm talking about Final Destination 3.
Ah, yes. Oh. Excellent.
And the scene in particular that I really love is when the girls decide that they really want to show honor to and they show honor to the events of the film. I don't even want to go into it, but they show honor by deciding to go get some color. So they show up to graduation with a little color. So they, and so they go to a tanning bed together, side by side tanning bed.
Sure.
And Death will have none of it. And the girls get in the tanning beds, and then they are summarily flambéed in the tanning beds, side by side, screaming with flame coming out of the sides. They can't get out. But the best part,
as a side note,
the best part of this is that it cuts from an overhead of the flames coming out to an overhead of their side by side grave shots. It is so perfectly aligned. You can't, it's Ace's filmmaking is what it is. It's just really great. So Final Destination 3, what was your aside? Do you have commentary?
Oh, you forgot to mention the fact that they were, of course, were naked.
Well, yeah. Well, it's Final Destination
when you go
3,
tanning
Kyle.
in a bed that a bunch of other people use, of course you're going to be as naked as you possibly can. That's just
tan the genitals. I hear. I just listened to a podcast about tanning your testicles to improve vitamin D.
Really?
Mandy,
different playlist.
I have never tanned my testicles. Never.
Sawbones. Listen to the current episode of the Sawbones podcast. They actually disabuse this particular myth. Please don't tan your testicles. Is all I'm saying.
Good death method. Good death method.
This podcast comes to a screeching halt on sunning the Jennies. So, Kyle, it's up to you.
All right. So my next mass death event is early on in the movie. You see that the villains have come up with this way of being able to sort of reach out and touch someone in a way they don't want to be touched by popping their heads like balloons. And so you think like, oh, okay. And so when the hero then goes into the thing, he's going to stop that from happening. But instead, he flips the switch and instead blows the heads off of every single person in there in Kingsman, the Secret Service. And what I really like about Matthew Vaughn is that instead of having it be gory, he makes it fun because it's light and confetti, and there's it's with a musical montage. You know, it's a fun way of watching all the evil people be decapitated.
Yeah, I took my way too young daughter to see that movie in the theater.
Oh, wow.
That was a mistake. There were many opportunities in that movie for me to cover her eyes in the theater, but we stayed to the very end.
Okay.
That was also a mistake.
And now you're paying for all that therapy. Yep.
She's doing great.
All right. Top
Mandy.
of the order. Bring us home.
Okay.
Mandy.
I have a very real fear of bugs, as we all witnessed on the infamous podcast episode when a spider crawled across Pete's camera, and I had dreams about it. So at a very young age, my best friend Tara had HBO and I didn't. And we watched something and it was gory and it was gross and we were watching, and then bugs happened. Now, in my mind, I imagine that these bugs killed this character. I don't know if that really happened, but they started crawling out of the walls and everywhere. And there were so many bugs and I was so traumatized, and it's creep show. Did they kill him? Right?
Yeah.
He doesn't. They come up out of the sink, and he's the germaphobe,
they were all
right?
over
He's the total germaphobe.
I don't think I watched it to the end. I think I probably ran out of the room screaming,
I
"Why,
think
God,
that was
why?"
the one where he comes out of the he comes out of the building. Kyle, do you remember this? And they're under his skin. Like that was the big reveal that all of them are gone, but they've gone into his body and he explodes with them.
He dies, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's creep show.
It's creep show. I didn't get to the dying part, I don't think, because I was just like, oh. My 8-year-old self was like, "Oh, hell no." And I ran out of the room and I was like, so that to me is number one. Okay.
All right.
Yes, moving on.
So that's me next.
Right.
Yeah,
what's your thing?
Oh dear. Well, I'll go with I guess it's a classic. I didn't watch this for a long time. Because I saw it when I was very young. It is a movie that actually came out when I was very young. I was 1 when it came out, and so I didn't see it, obviously, in the theater. But at the end of the movie, they actually light a man ablaze inside another man. That other man is a wicker man, and watch him burn. This is 1973's Wicker Man with Christopher Lee and Edward Woodward, and it was absolutely horrifying. So I saw it when I was, I don't know, older teenager, and this was back when I didn't like horror movies or creepy movies or anything like that. Then I saw another movie, which may end up being on this list. And I went back and watched this and realized just how much I like it and appreciate it. And so I am now a celebrant of the Wicker Man, creepy, horrific, little Scottish tale of flambéed wicker people.
All right. So my last one is, you scrimp and you save and you just want to go on a nice vacation. And so you finally get to go and you get to take the cruise you've always wanted to do. And so you're on the deck, you're having a wonderful time, you're with a ton of people, and suddenly you hear a strange sound, sort of a twang, and everyone on the deck is decapitated in an instant as a steel cable whips from one side of the ship to another in 13 Ghosts.
Wait, they were all the same height?
Yeah, no, it's well, they don't all get to kind of that
might
many people
not be based on a true
and,
story.
No. I would say that the second runner up for that would also be 13 Ghosts, because I believe a guy gets bisected by a sheet of glass, and you get to see the inside when the front part falls away. So,
oh wow!
Yeah,
I thought
the physics don't work,
have
but boy, that
memory.
scene is top notch in terms of, oh my god, I can't believe they just did that.
I have a total memory of that scene, but it wasn't 13 Ghosts. It's Ghost Ship.
Oh, is it Ghost Ship? I thought it was 13 Ghosts.
I think it's Ghost Ship, the opening scene, and there's the little girl who lives at the end, and the only reason she lives at the end is because she was shorter than everybody else who was bisected.
Oh, you're right. It is Ghost Ship. Okay. Yep.
Wow.
I mean, it was a ghost thing, but
yeah, Ghost Ship. I think it was Ghost Ship.
Thank you. I will.
What a great pull, though. How did that not end up on my list? Ugh.
Good one.
It's
brutal.
Yeah, totally
all right,
brutal.
So there was our list, our crazy violent guest. So next week, what do we wish to inflict on those poor fools?
Who are those poor fools? So this will be...
I believe it is hosted by our own Ocean Murph. We have the returning Chrissy Lenz and the handsomest man in podcasting, Mr. Tommy Metz.
Ooh, okay.
As we spoke, I had 2 quick ideas. They might have been done. They might be too limiting. Although the second one was, we were talking about the Emma Thompson trailer. And what about movies that take place almost entirely in one room or on one set? Have we done that?
I feel like we have done that.
I feel like we might have done that.
Okay, then the other was Two-Handers, but that's tough. There aren't a lot.
Yeah.
I had written down memory loss films, of course, pulling off of Severance.
I thought you were going to say pulling off of Memory, which opens in theaters, starring Liam Neeson this weekend. Did you forget about that one?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, totally. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about memory movies, movies dealing with loss of memory, but that might be limiting
of how how electric the sexual tension between the three of us has been. The episode that we would do something about love scene, but I thought instead of doing best love scenes, we would do like weirdest love scenes.
Oh, there it is.
Like
absolutely.
There it is. Say no more.
God.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the one.
But you guys, they can't use this live stream as one of them. Agreed, right?
I guess we can
might
put that proviso on there too. So
that's awesome.
So there we go. Yeah. So next week, we'll tune back in for Weird Love Scene. So Pete, what's coming up on next reel? What can people listen to coming up in the next week or so?
I'm wildly unprepared for that question, but I'll do my best.
Tell us what's coming up in the Man Cave.
If you are a member, then you can hear us talk about my favorite weird space vampire movie based on the book Space Vampires. That is Life Force. That's our member bonus movie this week. But we are just wrapping up our coming of age films, and so we finished talking about Diary of a Teenage Girl and 13, and there's some rough kids in these movies. I'm so glad my daughter is out of the house. And then we are jumping into sports movies, which we are kicking off one of the greats, Love and Basketball, which is a terrific love and basketball movie. It's written on the tin.
I have not been on to Letterboxd HQ to see the stuff's coming on there. Are you just specifically doing a particular sport, or are you sort of jumping around like you're doing?
We're jumping around. So Love and Basketball, Girl Fight, which is another terrific one. Lords of Dogtown and Queen of Cotway, because chess is a sport. That's what we've decided.
So Mandy, what's coming up on the Man Cave?
The episode that will drop Monday is The Girl Before on HBO Max. And then Mandy has assigned me Colin Jost's book, Punchable Face, A Very Punchable Face. And I'm listening, and I am walking around my neighborhood in the morning, cackling like an idiot. That man is funny, and I very much look forward to quoting all my favorite parts with Fabian on the Man Cave. You?
See that new and speaking of Mandy Fabian, the new episode of Curiosity Codex, where I'm our continuing conversation about the making of her first feature film, Just Plus None, continues on. So the next one that will be coming up, I've been editing and releasing episodes, so I don't even know what the next one coming up is. But it's I think we're sort of in 7 or 8 or so too. So we're.
Wow.
It's going great in there.
Yeah, and how many times, just in terms of turning the show into a drinking game, how many times would you say up to now have you used the words Just Plus None in your conversation together?
Not as many as I should have, because
certainly not as many as you'd think.
Yeah. Because early on we were sort of talking about everything else, and I realized after a couple episodes in that we hadn't actually talked about what the name of the real movie was, and then I realized that I didn't know what it was.
Wow.
And then I felt bad about asking, and then it got weird, and then when she mentioned it, I was like, made a note, and so then from then on I mentioned as much as possible. So it's
Hilarious.
coming out later on this year, so make sure everyone goes to see Just Plus None, because I am an idiot.
It's a great show. I'm addicted to it.
This is why it's a conversation,
it's the
not
weirdest
interview,
thing.
because
Yeah.
I am not a professional journalist. I'm a person that goes, no, shut up. I have a question now.
Well, thank you for your restraint during this episode of Satnap.
I've tried, you know. You wear different hats and different things, so... But thank you both for joining me on this. This was a lovely time. So thank you all for listening. Obviously, there's plenty of fun things on the next reel and extended family of podcasts you can enjoy while you're waiting for the next Saturday to roll around. So thank you, Pete. Thank you, Mandy.
Thank you, Kyle.
Of course, thank you to Phoebe Lynn Dean and Cooter Buckley, because they were hard to book. Let me tell you. So
Cute.
go listen to some Willie Nelson music, and you know what? Do something nice for yourself.